So those ones will go by faster. This one is time consuming. It's worth it. It's worth the effort. If it doesn't take time, it's probably not worth doing. Am I right? Am I right? If it was easy, everyone would do it. You just gotta do it. You'll be proud of yourself. You can even put on some Simon and Garfunkel in the background. Set the mood. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Dee, 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 dee. Do, 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 do. Hi, welcome to the Citystead. Try not to be alarmed by my beauty. Can you even see me? I am in the shadows. It is dark because it's really late at night. Mr. Citystead is working a graveyard shift. My kids are finally asleep, and I got a chance to make this video. I wanted to talk about how I dry herbs. So what I did was, when it was the end of the growing season, I just cut as much of the herbs as I could, and I brought it in. I put them in these paper bags, got as much of the stems off, and discarded that, and put them in the paper bags, and then every once in a while I would just give it a shake, make sure that it was drying evenly and that the moisture was coming out. You could also put them in a dehydrator if you didn't want to do that, but if you don't have a dehydrator, this is an easy way to do it. So now I can just pull them out, and there are a lot of stems in here. I think the first time I did it, I took the leaves off. You know, 3 kids. This time I didn't have as much time on my hands, so I kind of just shoved it all in here. So I'm just going to strip them off into the jar as I go along. I definitely recommend doing this if you enjoy herbs, if you enjoy fresh herbs, growing herbs in your garden, and then they all die in the winter. If you preserve them this way, you can keep using them all winter long, and they're definitely better than store-bought. The herbs that you buy, or the seasonings that you buy at the store, let's pull this all out. Not only are they expensive, but they don't taste nearly as good as this. I don't know if there's a bunch of fillers that they put in them, or preservatives maybe that they have to put in them, but they just don't taste as good. Last time I did this, I dried parsley, and it didn't turn out very well. It was the curly type, and I don't know, it looks bad. It tastes alright, maybe not the best. I mean, I'm not a huge parsley fan anyway, so no, it's fine. It smells good. It's just, I don't know, it turned like this brownish, yellowish color. Maybe it was the type, because it was that curly type, but no, that was flat leaf. Curly, fancy, flat leaf. I'm not sure. But whatever type I dried this year, this is like regular parsley that they put on your plate at a restaurant. Whatever that type is, that's what this is. And it grew for the longest time. Like, even when everything else died down, like dill dies really fast. It bolts and dies down really fast. Like, you would have to plant that in stages to get it to last all summer long, or preserve it early, bring it in and dry it early before it dies down. But this was going to the last second, and it looks good. It's green and it tastes really good. I used it for dinner tonight. I just grabbed it out of this bag because I didn't have it in the jars yet. And that variety did really good. Some of the other herbs that I've dried are rosemary, which we have a rosemary plant in the greenhouse, overwintering it, trying to see if we can overwinter it. And I didn't bring it in to dry it. I didn't clip any off to dry it because I still had some left. I have a lot left from when I dried the herbs last time. Because rosemary is just something I don't use a lot of. Oops. I don't use a lot of it because it's really potent. It tastes like a Christmas tree. It's really strong. You don't need very, very much of it. And I just don't really have a lot of dishes that I put it in. But yeah, hopefully it survives in the greenhouse and I can just put it back outside when the weather warms up again. What else? What other herbs? Basil. This year is the first year that I dried basil because I don't know, I didn't get to it. I didn't dry it last time because I wanted to make pesto and freeze a batch of that, but I never got to it, so it just died off. And I love basil so much. I love fresh basil. That's another thing. I feel like dry herbs, they taste different than when they're fresh. But if that's all you can get, like, that's all you can get. You'll just have to deal with it. And then when the weather warms up, you'll be that much more grateful to have fresh herbs again. I like this method. I don't know why. I guess I didn't have enough room in the dehydrator for all of them at once, and I just wanted to do all of them at once. And I also didn't know if I put them all in there together, if they would like intermingle their flavors, if that would have any effect. Like, would they all just taste like each other? I wasn't sure, so I wanted to keep them separated. Yeah, I just sort them out like this into jars. I'm using these ball spice jars that you can get, and they have the lids that come with them, and they have a shaker top, just like a spice jar. So they're really neat. But if you don't have those, I also have these kinds of jars with the little snap lids or whatever. It doesn't really, like, empty spice jars you can just refill if you have some of those from the store, or a baby food jar if you have those. Clean it out and use those, repurpose those. Or if you don't have baby food jars, maybe you can find them from somebody you know. I'm interested in trying is making my own variety, like mixed spices, like an Italian spice with oregano and basil and some salt. I think that would be fun to try. See how that turns out. Maybe dehydrate some lemon zest and some garlic and make like a fish seasoning with the thyme or the parsley. Or I think these would be really good gifts for the holidays. If you are somebody that likes to do DIY gifts. If you put together some spices that you harvested and dehydrated. When I put them in the bag, there seemed like there was a ton. Like, it took up the whole bag. But when it dries down, you know, it shrivels up and it doesn't take up nearly as much room. So my advice would be to get more than you think you need. Oh wow, there's like a ton in the bottom of here. Ooh. If you just like crunch the bag up, all the leaves, you know, that's probably what I should have done. Okay, here's a pro tip. If you just crush the bag up like this, all the little leaves go to the bottom. So if you just pull the stems out, you can dump the leaves into your jar. I think that's pretty good. It's almost all the way full. I don't even know where I got the idea for these bags. I must have read that somewhere on the old Google interweb. This is purple basil, so it looks really dark black. Ooh, it's kind of coming out. Don't be too aggressive with your bag squeezing. So this is some other kind of basil in here already that I'm going to top off. But I'm just going to mix them. Look at that, I'm already achieving my goals and dreams. Mixing 2 varieties of basil together. Now I can name it. Boom. 2-tone basil. Basil medley. Thai purple basil fusion. Just want to sprinkle that on something. I'm going to do this parsley so I can show you how good it turns out in comparison to the other one. Like, look at it. It looks like a little parsley still. It's green. It looks so fresh and green. You know what I have that I could be utilizing at this very moment? A mortar and pestle. People use that for this, right? I feel like this is a thing. Is this a thing? I'm making it a thing. This is one of those purchases that you get when you go to IKEA. And you're just like, yeah, I need that in my life. Of course. It's just so satisfyingly sturdy. Oh yeah. Okay. This is the way to do it. Why is this so satisfying? I feel like it's something that's in our nature. It just runs deep in my veins that my ancestors probably did stuff like this. It's like when you're out in the garden and you just need to be digging in the dirt and growing stuff. As a human being, it's just what we're designed to do. That worked so well. I'm going to try to hold back on this one a little bit. Once I got going, kind of took it too far. Ended up with parsley powder. So this is pineapple sage. And it does smell like pineapple. A tinge. Maybe it's the power of suggestion, but I do believe I'm smelling pineapples. Now, I know I have a jar with some sage in it already, pineapple sage, so I'm going to add this to it. No, I'm going to start a new jar. Like I said, I did these 2 years ago, and I feel like there's a noticeable difference between these two. This smells way nicer. So I'm going to leave this one separate. Have a fresh batch. See, that's something you can do when you dry your own herbs, because when you buy herbs from the store, if you don't use it all and they go bad, you're not tossing it out because they cost you a small fortune. So you're going to keep it forever when it doesn't even have potency anymore. When you could have super fresh stuff every year if you did it yourself. And I'll just show you my sad chives so you can see that this was not a success. I don't know if I had them too bunched up in the bag and they didn't dry out quick enough. I don't know. It literally looks like I mowed my lawn and put the clippings in a bag. And it smells like hay. It doesn't smell like chives. So that was a fail. Wah, wah. Fresh chives are amazing. And I thought you could dry them. I'm pretty sure you can. You would just have to find a better way. And this was not it. Where there's a will, there's a way. This was not the way. Have I convinced you that this is worth it? And that it's easy and you could do this? I hope so. So, there you have it. I hope that was helpful. I hope I inspired you to dry your own herbs. I think it's definitely worth the effort. Until next time, see you later. Bye. You know, a lot of things I do that are like this, I always wonder in my mind, would it make Martha Stewart proud? Would Martha Stewart be impressed by this? Then I want to do it. It's kind of like when I wanted to grow edible flowers. How often do you cook with edible flowers? Why not every day? Why wait for a special occasion? When you could be eating edible flowers like you're the Queen of England every day of your life. Now if Martha Stewart ever ends up dropping by, I have some herbs that I preserved myself. That I can impress her with. It's a good thing. Is anybody already counting down the days until spring? I don't like the smell. You might be middle-aged if drying herbs excites you. Herbs just smell so nice. It's like aromatherapy. What else can I grind? What else can I pulverize? There's some ASMR for you. There's some ASMR for you. ASMR herbs. And it's like you're walking through leaves on a beautiful fall day. Those leaves are just crushing against the sidewalk. I'm in some decluttering and minimalizing groups on the internet, And some of the things those people pull out of their cabinets that are dated decades old. If you inherited spices from your grandma or your parents that are older than you, you should probably just toss them out. You should definitely toss them out. They're probably dust. You're just gonna dump some dust on your food. Don't be jealous because I got skills. Herb drying skills. Herb chopping skills. Ninja skills. Nunchuck skills.